this. All right, let's start here. Mm-hmm. 10 days ago. That's it. What's the proper one? Yeah. Okay. Just trying to confirm the image. Hope it's not frozen. All right, let me stop this and share it again. Okay. Getting signs of life. I'm just confirming that the image is pushing through properly, then we'll get it started. Okay, I'm going to assume that it's working for now. I haven't gotten my confirmation yet, but we'll go with it. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to assume that it's working for now. Oh, it's not working. Oh, this thing is so frustrating. And I don't understand why it's not working. Okay, so sometimes I have to do this, like close that out. Let me stop this again. That should be fine. Let's try this one more time. Share the screen, start the broadcast. I'm not really doing anything different than I normally do. Let's try this one more time. Share the screen, start the broadcast. All right, that's looking better. Not really. Come on. All right, it's looking good. Okay, I'm gonna go with it. All right, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so I did kind of learn a new little trick as far as at least so that I can get a confirmation whether the image is being pushed or not. Because sometimes on my end, it's showing that it's pushing, but then it's not until you guys say something that I know that it's not. So anyway, that's like I said, I have a little system now where I can monitor the stream and get a sense. Let me check on you guys' Zoom really quickly. Okay, that's fine. All right. So let me see. Let's go here. Come on. This one. All right. So let's see. So we're pretty much in the home stretch. We only have 3 meetings remaining, including today. So we got today, and then we have next Monday and next Wednesday. So a brief synopsis of the remaining schedule. So this is what College Algebra 1. So with the remaining sessions, what we're going to do is each day we're going to go through as many questions from an exam as possible. Now with my earlier students, I have 4 sections of College Algebra 1, right? So with my earlier students, we were able to get through maybe like 4 questions. So and it seems like that's part of the reason why I was late. I was testing to see if it's going to mix them up or not. So it seems like it was not really mixing up the questions that much. So what I'm going to do is just start off with question 5 with you guys. And if you want to see questions 1 through 4 or any other questions, I'm going to try to, with each class, do a different set of questions. And so if you want to see what we talked about, you would have to watch those recordings from those sessions, right? So today we'll take time to go through as much of exam 1 as together as we can. We're not going to meet on Wednesday. That's, the school closes at noon. So, enjoy your holiday, maximize your time with your loved ones. When we come back, we're only going to meet 2 more times, that Monday and that Wednesday. The last day of class is Wednesday, November 30th. That's next Wednesday. That Thursday and Friday is the reading period, so you should not be meeting in any of your classes. And then I think I scheduled your final exam to become available on Sunday, December 4th at 11:11 a.m. It'll be available for 5 days and is due that Friday, December 9th at 11:59 p.m. So during the week of finals, I'm not going to take attendance, so you're not obligated to show up. But more than likely, I'll at least try to be online. So if you have questions or if you need to reach me, you know how to find me. But the last time I'm going to take attendance is November 30th. So again, you're not obligated to show up during the finals. I'm just going to try to be online. I might even be doing some gaming. Maybe I might stream my games, and so that way you can just to change it up. And I'll be available for questions and things of that nature. More than likely I'll be playing Mobile Legends. That's the game that I play, right? It just depends. We'll see how it goes. Just to make myself available and then be doing something a little bit different. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So the goal is, when you submit your final exam, that should be it, right? You don't want anything lingering past the final. So, this applies to everyone. If you're going back and redoing old assignments to improve your overall score, you definitely want to prioritize your old exams as they account for 80% of your overall grade, okay? And then the last thing that you want to prioritize is the old homework, because that's going to be a lot of work for minimal points. You're not really going to see your grade move that much, so I don't want you stressing out about that homework. Just do the best you can with it. But if you don't get anything else in order, you definitely want to get your old exams in order. Again, the goal is when you submit your final exam, that should be it. You shouldn't have things lingering past the final that you're trying to submit. That's not a good look, right? And you got time to do it, to get the stuff in order. I can't really think of anything else. I think that those are the main parts or the main components. So with that, let's take some time. And again, so I'm going to start with, I'm starting on question 5 with you guys, right? So with my earlier students, with my 9 a.m., we only made it through about 4 questions. So I would encourage you to watch that recording to see what we talked about on the first 4 questions. And with you guys, I'm going to start with question 5. So it has find the equation for the circle with a diameter whose endpoints are here, right? So equation of the circle. Now, I know we didn't talk about this together, but it's definitely in my pre-recorded lecture. Let me see. So the h comma k is going to be the center of your circle. So then the standard form of the equation of the circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. Let me here. And I'll check on you guys in Zoom. I usually check at the 15-minute mark. We don't need all of this. Okay. Copy and delete. I really like the copy and delete function. It makes things so much cleaner. I'm going to paste. Yes, paste the image. Okay. Okay. So equation of a circle. So we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, right? The center of the circle is h comma k and the radius is r, okay? So find the equation of a circle. Okay, so that's the diameter. So we got a couple of formulas that we're using here. We need the coordinates of, let me see, we need the midpoint, right? If these are the coordinates of the diameter, we need the center of the diameter, so we need the midpoint. So you know, it looks like we're going to need the midpoint formula. I'm gonna label that as capital M. Midpoint is like average, so it's going to be the average of the A's, comma, average of the Y's. So then x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. So the average of your A's, comma, average of your Y's. I think that's it. Okay, this will give us the coordinates of the midpoint, which is the center of the circle. Then we can plug that in as our H and K. And we're also gonna, it looks like we're also gonna be using the distance formula. So the distance between 2 points, P and Q, we got x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay. So I think that these are the formulas that we're going to be using. Let's go ahead and find our midpoint. So then here we have x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay. So then we're going to have 5 plus a negative 4 over 2. Then we have negative 1 plus negative 2 over 2. That's what, 1/2, comma, negative 3/2. Okay. So coincidentally, this is our H and our K, the center of our radius, the center of our circle. Okay. So then we can plug in that H, plug in that K. Now let's go ahead and find the R. The radius, we can either find the distance between, you know, the center that we just found and one of the endpoints, or just find the distance of the diameter and then cut it in half. I'm more confident in finding the distance of the diameter and cutting it in half, just in case we calculated this midpoint correctly. We want to base the least amount of information possible on this, just in case we got it wrong, right? So let's find the distance. Come on. So let's find the distance of the diameter. So then it looks like it should be 5 minus negative 4 squared plus, or I mean, this is fine. I know I kind of changed it up a little bit. Negative 1 minus, as long as you're consistent, really, negative 2 squared. Okay, square root. Okay, this should be okay. So then 9 squared is what, 81, plus 1 squared is 1, so it looks like it's a square root of 82. Okay. So then our radius is going to be 41. So the square root of 82 over 2. That's the distance of our radius. Yeah. All right, I think we're okay. Okay. So for our circle, okay. So then we're going to get x minus 1/2, and I'll check on you guys in Zoom in just a moment. X minus 1/2 squared plus, normally it'd be y minus a negative 1/3, but then the double negative becomes positive, so it's going to be y plus 3/2 squared equals, and if you square r, you get 82 divided by 4. 20.5. Let's see. If we wanted to check this, we could solve for y using plus or minus and then confirm that those points are on our circle. Because this is a testing environment, I think I want to check this really quickly. Let me see. If I solve for y, I subtract square root. Okay, I'm gonna check this. Okay. It's gonna be a little bit unorthodox. So right here. Okay. So now I'm gonna go to my y equal. So now my y equals, I want to solve for y. So I have my 20.5. I'm going to say minus, I'm going to have to make some augmentations. X minus 1/2, quantity squared, okay. I want to take the square root of that. So I'm going to insert a square root symbol right here. And close off the square root right here. And then, so I need to basically subtract 3/2. Here, let's put it here. I'm going to insert a negative 3/2 and plus. Okay. So when we take the square root, we got to do plus or minus. So we essentially need the exact same thing, negative 3/2, but instead of plus the square root, it should be minus the square root. 20.5 minus x minus 1/2 quantity squared, okay? So this is the plus and minus that's been captured. One other thing, I want to go to stat, edit, and I want to plot these given points. So these endpoints, the diameter we had 5, and the corresponding y was -1. We also had when x is -4, the corresponding y is -2. I'm going to go ahead and plot the center that we found as well. We got 1/2 and a -3/2. Okay. So then I'm going to go to stat plot, and I want the stat plot to be turned on. The box is fine. List L1 and L2. I don't just say graph. I think the standard should be fine. So those look decent. That's fairly good. Okay, it looks like they're on the endpoints of our circle. It looks like we captured the center. It looks distorted just because of the window, but if we change the view a little bit, it'll look more like a circle, but this is good enough, right? Okay. So x minus 1/2, y plus 3/2, and 20.5. Let's see. This one, full screen. Okay. X minus, I think it's a D, right? D, let's go with D. Okay, so we did it by hand and it matched what they have. So we're gonna go with it. Okay, oh, I missed my 222, but that's fine. Let me check on you guys in Zoom. Let's do it. Okay. So it says a treasure hunting team of divers is placed in a computer-controlled diving cage. The following equation describes the depth in feet that the cage will descend in T minutes. Answer parts A through C. Sketch the graph. So notice that the highest degree is a 2. So it looks like we have a U-shaped curve. The leading coefficient is actually negative. So it's a U-shaped curve that's upside down. Let me see. Describes the depth in feet that the cage will descend. So let me see. Okay, this is fine. So it looks like we have a U-shaped curve that's upside down. right? And so as time increases the depth, it goes further, it goes deeper, right? We want to sketch the graph of the quadratic, so it's probably best that we put it in standard form. We really should use completing the square. Okay, let me do completing the square on this. So completing the square is a little bit involved. Let me get a copy. And we'll try to review completing the square as succinctly as possible, or as I can. I'm sure there's always a better way, but you know. Okay, we hit done, copy and delete. Let's paste. Allow to paste. Okay. So we want to graph this quadratic. So I'm going to get it into standard form of a quadratic. We get f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k, right? Where the h and the k are the coordinates of the vertex. So I'm going to use completing the square. We're starting with d equals 2/3 t minus 2/9 t squared, okay? I'm going to kind of want to, okay, let me see. So normally when we do completing the square, the leading coefficient has to be a 1, right? So let's factor out a negative 2/9 from each term, okay? The first term stays as t squared. Let me see, if we divide by negative 2/9, it's going to be minus, if you flip and multiply, 9 divided by 3 is what, 3? So 3t, right? Let's just check really quickly. If you distribute back, you're going to get a positive, right? 3 turns the 9 into a 3, positive 2/3. Okay. So now we've gotten the leading coefficient to be a 1. So then I think it's what? B over 2 squared plus or minus. So we're going to say, we're going to add 0 in the form of plus b over 2 quantity squared and minus b over 2 quantity squared, right? So the b in this case is a negative 3. So we're going to say plus negative 3 over 2 squared. I think I'm doing this right. And minus negative 3 over 2 squared. Okay. I think that's it. Let's keep going. Okay. So then 9 over 4. So we're saying plus 9 over 4 and minus 9 over 4. We're adding 0 in this form, so we're not changing the answer. We're just changing the shape so that we can get it to behave the way we want. All right. So then now we can do factor by grouping. And I want to say this negative 2/9 times this first term, and I'm going to also multiply it there. Okay. So in the first one, I'm going to leave the 2/9 in front. Okay, we get this t squared minus 3t. And I'm going to leave this 9 over 4 for right now. Double negative becomes a positive. The 2 turns the 4 into a 2. So plus 1/2. Okay. So then now we're one step away. I think it's what? Is it 3/2? Yeah. Two numbers that multiply to give us this and add to give us this is minus 3/2. We're going to have negative 2/9 t minus 3 over 2 squared plus 1/2, right? Two numbers that multiply to give me this and added to give me this. And basically it was the square root of this guy, but we kind of did that on purpose. Because notice that this times this, 3/2 times 3/2 gives us this. 3/2 plus 3/2 is 6/2, which is this. Okay. So, all right, so in this form, we're ready to graph. We see that the coordinates of the vertex are 3/2, comma 1/2, right? I think we have everything we need to graph quadratic in this form. Okay. So I'm going to click to enlarge. I'm going to use my parabola tool, and I'm just clicking anywhere on the graph. Okay, so that's fine. 1, 2, we're going to have 3 points. Now, let me just go back. Let's see. So we have the coordinates of the vertex is 3/2. 3/2. Get those points. 3/2. That's 1.5 and 0.5. So there's 1.5 and 0.5. Oh, it moved. Oh, edit coordinates. Yes, there we go. Right here. Off. Okay. So we got 1.5, and then this one is just, oh my goodness. Off. Okay, that's fine. Click to enlarge. Parabola tool. I'm just clicking on 3 points, and then I want to edit this one. Oh, you're just not going to stop doing that. Okay. 1.5. Okay. That's annoying. Can I just turn this off? It's not going to let me. Okay, so I have to use this 1.5. And then this one is like 0.5. Okay. Okay, submit. Oh, come on. Oh, it's not letting me. Come on. Darn it, I don't want a new question. Maybe if I click here and then come back. I think that's the same. It looks the same. Let's try this again. And it's not going to let us edit until the end. Oh, that's almost it. Let's get rid of the negative. Okay, so that one's in there. Let me see, when t is 0, I think we're at the origin. Let me see, 9/4. Yeah. T is 0, y is 0. So we should be at the origin. Okay. And then I'll just close this out. So it's not going to let me. There it is. This is the other one, 1.5. Okay. There's that one. And then we just need one more. We could use the axis of symmetry. So then I think it should also pass through 3, 0. I think it's 3, 0. Let me do 3, 0. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me hit save. I'm just trying to see if this makes sense. is placed in a computer control. The following describes the depth and feet that the cage will descend in T minutes. This is fine. So it seems like it bobs up a little bit and then it starts to submerge. Okay, that might be the case. Okay. So then it says, let me see. What part of the graph represents the physical aspects of the problem? T is greater than or equal to 0, right? Because time starts at 0. Space and computer sense. The part where T is between the part where T is less than the entire graph. I'm going to say where T is greater than or equal to 0. Right? I think that's reasonable. What is the total time of the entire diving experiment? I mean, let's see. What is that? That's like 10. Because the depth, you can go, if you're talking about surface level, you can go below. Treasure hunting team is placed the following equation describes the depth in T minutes. So it looks like the max depth is 16. So then you find out what value of T makes it 16. We might get this one wrong. Let me see. Because if we set it equal to 16 and solve, that seems like what we need to do. Let's try that, because I was trying to see if I can eyeball it, and it's close. But I don't think it's 10 but let's just set it equal to 16. Yeah, let's just set it equal to 16 and see can we. So this one is like nasty. It's just the fractions is just making it bad. All right, so we got this -2/9. I'll work here. Come on. T squared plus 2/3 T. The depth is 16 feet, okay? So then, essentially what you would do here, it might be easier if we start with our form and completing the square. So let's start there. And I'm gonna set it to 0. Actually, we got this -2/9 T minus 3/2 squared plus 1/2. Let's set that equal to 16, okay? So then you get this -2/9 T minus 3/2 squared, 15.5. So then 31/2. You flip and multiply. I'm going to leave it kind of separate. So then we get 31/2 times -9/2. Let's see, it's not working out. Because when you go to take the square root, maybe that depth is supposed to be -16. Let's make this negative and see if that resolves some of this. Okay, so then that means we'll get a double negative here and we can keep going. Okay, so then now you can take the square root. Normally it would be plus or minus. I'll just put the plus or minus for right now. Square root, whatever that result is, 31/2 times 9/2. Okay. And then ultimately the time is going to be 3/2. It should just be the plus because we're not working with the negative time, we're not going into the negative, just for the context. 31/2, 9/2. All right, we get, that's like the exact answer that we get. Let's go back and let's check something here. In minutes. Okay, so let's, I'm not confident in this result. Where'd it go? But this is, I mean, this is, so we'll find out in just a minute. Okay, so let's see. We got 3/2 plus the square root. We got 31/2 times 9/2, square root of all of that. I would feel better if we do this. 31/2 times 9/2. Close out the square root, okay? So it's about 10 minutes. Because if this is minutes, after the 9 is an 8, the 8 tells us to round up. I'm gonna put 10 minutes, right? And that's what we had. That's what we get, all right? So I'm gonna go with 10 there. Okay. So as soon as it lets me do it, come on. Yeah. Okay. Try this again. 10 minutes. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna go with that. Let me go ahead and submit this because we're out of time. So we got through 2 questions. That's fine. We did what, 5 and 6? Yeah, we got part of it wrong. Let's see. Oh, we got most of it wrong. Let's see what's going on here. 0 to 3. Okay. So the depth. Okay, so we were interpreting it wrong. We took it out to the far right. They just wanted 0 to 3, the part that was above the x-axis. I kept getting that vibe, but I wasn't 100% sure. So our graph is fine. We just interpreted the graph incorrectly. We went, as far as it could go. The depth, I guess we weren't interpreting what they meant, right? The depth is like if you go 1 foot deep, it's the positive y part, right? So we just read the graph wrong. And then, but once you got that concept correct, then you could have got everything else right. 0 to 3 would have been it, and then that would have resolved everything else. 3 minutes. Okay. Well, you live and you learn. All right, but that's why you try. That's why I do unlimited attempts. So then if it pops up again, you'll know what they mean by it, right? When you get it wrong, you try to figure out, well, what am I reasoning was off? And so again, here we read the chart wrong. Like I was thinking that, the positive was above the surface area, and then the negative was how deep they were going. But yeah, this is fine. Okay, well, at least we got to the bottom of it. That's the thing about it. That's why I do unlimited attempts. Are there any questions getting like a bunch of extra stuff that was like a flag, but we just have to let it be for now. Okay, guys. So let me at least make a copy of what we experienced. Not this one. This one. This one. Okay. So when this bar finishes loading, you'll receive a copy of anything that you saw us working on together. And if there aren't any burning questions, we're going to end the session here. Happy holidays. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care, guys. See you a week from today. Happy holidays. Peace.